Hey everybody, it's the Tuesday night. It's Tuesday, right?
It is
Yeah,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday night comic book preview stream that we do here at Fantasy Books and Games. I'm Aaron. This is Sam.
Hey, what up?
And yeah, there's they just never stop making comic books. Like there's always something new. I'm gonna adjust this camera a little
Yeah,
bit.
'cause
I need more of myself in frame.
that's fine.
There we go. That's better. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a decent amount of stuff coming out
Yes.
tomorrow. I feel like we don't have small weeks anymore.
No.
We've been talking about that a few times
It's been
on the
mega
stream.
weeks
It's
for like the last 2 months. I
yeah,
feel like.
yeah, it's just like every week is huge. But anyway, yeah, I got a few things to highlight actually before we just jump into some of the comics. I
Sounds
want to
good.
remind everybody that today is the last day of September. Tomorrow is the first day of October.
Ooh.
Hey, Jesse Bells. And in October, that is when we do our Customer Appreciation Month. I might just put this down on the camera right there, just so that people can. Oh, it's kind of tiny. Yeah, look at that. Oh, there you go. So
Have you read
all.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no! Yeah, let's.
I was just gonna say, have you read it all yet?
You know what? I didn't proofread this, so I hope I didn't just put something inappropriate or misspelled on camera. But yeah, it's our Customer Appreciation Month. You come in all month, spend money in the store. Every $10 that you spend gets you a ticket entered into a raffle. Grand prize is a $250 shopping spree in the store. That's a lot of comic books.
That is.
So also then the final weekend, the 24th through the 26th, that's when we do our dice discount. We'll have five six-sided die at the counter. You make your purchase, you get to roll the dice, add it all up, and that's the percentage off you get your total purchase. So it's a pretty big weekend, or pretty big month, I should say,
Yeah.
all things told. But I mean, that raffle is pretty cool. Like, I know a lot of people will save their spending for the year and just come in and buy a ton of stuff in October just to get into that raffle. But anyway, let's show off some of the stuff we got coming out tomorrow. We have just started getting. Do you remember this comic shop news? This
I don't.
So this. Oh, did they never really carry it like when you've been here? So this is like a freebie magazine that they put out called Comic Shop News, and we started carrying it again, at least with this issue. I don't even really want to put it on the camera because it's kind of too big for it. But it just is like a write up, and it's like a preview of some stuff coming out. As you can see on the cover here, there's a new Youngblood coming out, so that's kind of the major hype thing. But there's a few other just like write ups of different books that are coming out because they don't make previews anymore. The physical book, it's all online because Diamond went bankrupt and sold and all this stuff. So we're carrying this now just as an extra physical thing. People that want to stay aware of new books that are coming out, like new stuff to highlight, you can get a free copy of Comic Shop News. Check that out. Okay, let's take a look at some of the actual books that are coming out tomorrow. And you know what I like to start with when we do this stream. There are 3 choice facsimiles coming out tomorrow. 3.
Okay.
How blessed are we? And they're not all the same. It's not just like another issue of Fantastic Four or another issue of X-Men that they've just been, or Spider-Man, when they were just publishing. They're just republishing a year's worth of issues in a row. These are all kind of new things. Except for maybe this one. This is Detective Comics number 40 comes out tomorrow. DC's been doing a good job of reprinting a lot of their Golden Age stuff lately. I'm very happy with it. Just a few weeks ago, they did an issue of Action Comics that was the first appearance of Lex Luthor.
Whoa.
And this issue is the first appearance of Golden Age Clayface.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and I just love that Golden Age art. Like, these pages are so cool looking. And yeah, he's not like the monster that he is in the Silver Age, but he's just an actor who uses makeup to like change his facial features. But still, it's pretty cool. It's the first Clayface comic. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, they did Action Comics. That was the first appearance of Lex Luthor, because Lex was the villain in the last Superman movie.
Oh, you're thinking Batman?
Has it been announced? Did they say that Clayface is going to be in the next Batman movie?
I want to say, because there's always
There's
a lot of talk
rumors
about Clayface specifically because of how involved Alan Tudyk is with that.
Right.
Yeah.
He would be a great character for the movies because you could have a lot of fun with it. and like with the special effects, it wouldn't even be that special effects heavy,
No.
but you'd be able to do some cool stuff with it. So yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't done that character, like in the films. Really, he was one of my favorite episodes of the animated series. Was the Clayface episode? Yeah, so good. So anyway, yeah, first Golden Age Clayface. It comes out tomorrow in this beautiful facsimile reprint. And as I have said before, Clayface has a standalone horror movie next year. Oh well, there you go.
Oh,
that's it. They're just making a Clayface
just
movie.
Ask the internet.
I should have trusted that the internet would know. I'm actually doing my best to limit my screen time on the internet because I feel like it makes me go insane.
Yeah.
But I am glad to know that. Thank you. It's weird because like I don't know how I feel about a Clayface movie that's not a Batman movie.
Right.
It's the same problem that Sony had with all of their Spider-Man, not Spider-Man movies, where they do. I mean,
you mean Morbin Time?
Morbin Time and Madam Web. I mean, you know what? We'll save our commentary on that for when and if it happens. So anyway, yeah, check out Clayface. Also coming out tomorrow, another beautiful facsimile, Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica. This is issue, I think, 75. I forgot which year this came out. I think it's an early 60s issue. And, I will admit, I'm not like the world's biggest fan of Archie or anything. Even as a kid, I never cared about Archie. But I do like these facsimiles because I can appreciate just some of the style and the humor of the old version of Archie. Like this cover is cute. Just these aliens talking. The thought bubble is, or the word bubble is. Notice how the Earth females like to isolate themselves and make strange noises because girls do be gabbing on the phone all the time. But it's kind of charming in its shall we say archaic view of teenagers from back in the day. But this is getting a reprint. I think this is I don't know if it's as a famous or an infamous issue, but the key story in this is this first issue where Betty sells her soul to the devil so that Archie will love her.
I knew it was for that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be for some stupid.
Of course. I mean, that's the story of Betty and Veronica. And so because Archie is going with is it Veronica? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Veronica's the rich one.
Veronica, yeah. And so Betty sells her soul to the devil, and it's like they kind of dance around it. Like they never say devil, but he says his name is Mr. Inferno, and there's a lot of like there's a pretty good joke where he's like he's like trying to trick her into selling her soul, and then she just goes along with it, where she's just like, oh, you'll make Archie love me, I'll do anything, and he's like, this is too easy. So it's pretty humorous. And then the joke is, if you don't mind me just spoiling this,
go right ahead.
For the whole internet, the joke is that it doesn't work because Veronica also sold her soul to the devil so that Archie would love her, and so Archie just loves both of them, and then they threaten to beat up the devil, and he runs away because who wants to get beat on by Betty and Veronica? Not me. The combined power of two angry young teenage girls. But anyway, it's funny, it's cute. There's some other funny stories. I like the way these old Archies have like weird, what would you like, magical realism, where it's just like it's a story. The devil is actually in it, and like magic happens,
but it doesn't affect the town.
But it doesn't affect the town. Yeah, there's another story. There's a funny one. I'm not gonna really like highlight, put it on camera, but there's another one where Ronnie just has this curse on her, where whenever she tells a lie, things stick to her hands, and it's just silly, but it's played for a bunch of sight gags. So you just get silly things of she gets stuck on things because she can't not lie, and it's funny, and it's charming in its own way. But anyway, so yeah, Betty and Veronica 75. Betty sells her soul to the devil. Pretty funny. Another facsimile coming. I almost missed this one because it's not an old comic from the 40s or the 60s. This is still a very old comic, though, from the faraway time of 1996.
Whoa.
This is Spider-Boy. I was so shocked that Marvel and DC put their differences aside so that they could publish a new crossover issue of that Deadpool Batman.
Mhm.
And I did not expect that they would take it a step further and reprint some of these old amalgam issues.
I was about to say that's an amalgam
This is an
character then.
amalgam character,
All
yeah.
right.
So, a little history lesson. You probably know most of this, Sam, but back in the '90s, Marvel and DC did their Marvel versus DC series, where fans voted on who would win in fights, like Hulk versus Superman, Batman versus Captain America, and then they did a 4-issue series where it all happens, and then it ends with their both universes getting destroyed and combined into one universe, and they published a series of books that were amalgamations. That's hence the title amalgam of two different characters into one character. And so this one is Spider Boy, which is Spider-Man and Superboy. And this is actually a really good issue. I genuinely really like a lot of these amalgam comics. They're really fun and they're really creative in the way they combine the different elements, and because there's a lot of similarities, like Spider-Man and Superboy, they're both kind of like young characters,
Right.
and but the way they can combine elements of like the two different universes and the characters. And this is written by Carl Kessel, who was writing a lot of Superman, Superboy comics at the time, with art by the late great Mike Wieringo, some early
Ah.
art by Mike Wieringo. And yeah, it's just a cool classic comic. I really like that he's basically got like he looks like and acts like Superboy more than Spider-Man, but he's got Spider-Man's powers. But I like that he has a web gun instead of like the web shooters. So he just carries this gun around that just shoots webs on things. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It looks great, and I think the other thing that I really like about this, the way they did these amalgam comics, and I'm just going to spoil the end of this 30-year-old comic book for you. You should read it, but it ends with Mary Jane showing up as this character, the Insect Queen, and I like that it ends with a little to be continued. And one of the things that was, in my opinion, that was really fun that made these amalgam books work was that they were written and drawn and presented completely as if they were a part of an ongoing series. So like you're just jumping into it's number one, but you're just jumping into a random issue of Spider Boy, and there's a lot of the different amalgam issues will have little editors box like it happened last issue, even though that doesn't exist. And there was some that would like take it a step further. I think it was the Wonder Woman mashed up with was it Elektra?
Storm.
Oh, it might have been Storm.
It was.
But
I remember Batman and Wolverine.
yeah, that
Captain
was
America
Dark
and
Claw.
Superman.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was Storm.
Yeah.
It was Wonder Woman and Storm, and I think that issue was by John Byrne. But
Wow.
there was like he devoted a whole 2 pages to a subplot that never gets resolved because it's like when you're normally making a comic book, you do a few pages to seed plots for your future issues,
Right.
and then down the line you get to it. So he did that in his amalgam book, even though it's never going to actually happen. And I really like that they do that because I read these. I'm an old person, and I like that classic comic book feel. So I highly recommend Spider Boy. I do have all of the amalgam issues.
Do you?
I do. I have a complete set. I really do like them. These books came out right when I was at that age when I was stopping comic books because they were no longer cool. And so I have I read some of them as a kid, and then I approached them as an adult, and I have a newfound appreciation for them. So it's like one of the bright. A lot of '90s comics gets a bad rap for being excessive and not very good. Most of these amalgam comics are actually really good. I highly recommend them. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about some new stuff. Although this isn't that new because this is a collected edition. GI Joe Compendium Volume 2 comes out tomorrow. Look at this sucker. And I say it's not new because it's collecting issues from the 80s and 90s. But just if you've been waiting for Compendium Volume 2, comes out tomorrow. This is another 50 issues of GI Joe. I just can't get over how big these compendiums are. But I think we talked about this when the first compendium came out. I love the quality of the printing. Actually, let's put it on camera here just to show some of the art. Like it just looks so good. They reprint some of these special missions issues in here, and they really do look. The Skybound Image facsimile reprint quality is up to snuff. It's right up there with DC's reprints. It just looks fantastic. Like these pages look exactly like the original. I like that it's on this newsprint
Yeah.
style. Like it just looks amazing. And even more so, what's kind of neat about it being on newsprint is how light this is. Like
Oh my gosh.
this is a giant book, but the newsprint really makes a big difference in
Yes,
the,
it
the
does.
overall weight. So it's like this is like a phone book, really,
Yeah.
but it's like it's not super heavy.
I was
So
thinking you could be able to kill somebody with that if
no,
you
I don't
wanted to,
think you
but I don't
could.
think you could.
I don't think you could. So yeah, very excited about that. Okay, let's talk about some new stuff. Okay, actually, this isn't that new. This is a second printing that I want to. We're gonna get to new comics, I swear. This is I've talked about this series when it's come out, and this is Cul-de-sac. This is awesome vampire comic by Mike Carey and Jonathan Wayshak, and this is a second printing of the first issue, which I don't know how often or if ever Bad Idea has done second printings for books, but this book is so good and it's been getting a lot of attention. So very glad that they're doing a second printing of number one. If you missed it, you should definitely check it out. Like it's a cool vampire story, but I really love the art.
The
in
art is
this.
beautiful.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's stylized. Just it gives me like Sam Keith vibes for all you
Yeah.
old comic book readers out there. Like I like that he can kind of like he can do a realistic representation of the characters, but he'll get a little wild with the cartooning when it's necessary. Man, this is just beautiful. Really one of the coolest, one of the best comics out there right now. Like I said, I definitely talked about issue one when it came out, and I think I talked about issue two a few weeks ago. So there's only the two issues out, and if you missed number one, now's your chance to get it. Second printing, get caught up. It's a really cool comic, really good. Okay, we're officially into new comics now. This is brand new. Well, mostly. This Adventure Time number 6. This is a new comic. It's just an old cartoon series. But yeah, officially new. I've been really enjoying this Adventure Time series. I don't know how many people are really following it, but I talk about it. I think I've talked about it the last couple of issues. I'm just really impressed at how much it just gives me classic Adventure Time vibes.
They definitely nailed the art looks just like the show.
It does, yeah. It looks great, and they definitely like as you can see, this is one of the serious issues. Like I guess spoiler alert, but there's a lot going on with the Lich. Everybody, of course, if you're an Adventure Time fan, you remember all the stuff with the Lich, and he's right there on the cover. But yeah, I like this comic book series does a good job of what the cartoon did, which was kind of bounce back and forth between silly jokes and fun, and then you kind of get into this like epic fantasy story. I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. Let's see. I've been talking a lot, Sam. What's something that you got to talk about?
Let's see. Do you want to talk about X-Men or do we want to save that for later?
Oh, should we? Let's talk about it. I
Let's
don't want
talk
to tease
about it.
people too much.
So we both read X-Men: Age of Revelations, the overture.
The overture
comes out tomorrow.
That's right. This is not the Zero issue that came out a few months ago.
Right.
Which that one I don't even remember the Zero issue.
It was
Do you?
quick.
It was
brief.
It was more like a summary. It like read like a Wikipedia entry to like here's just a bunch of setup for. I think it was trying to explain stuff that had happened in continuity up until this point, so that you didn't have to go back and buy like a year and a half's worth of X-Men comics.
Right.
But this is the issue where the story gets started proper with the Age of Revelation. And what'd you think, Sam?
I liked it. So it follows basically right after the events of the last issue of X-Men, which is hard to believe because they jumped 10 years into the future.
yeah. I was wondering about that.
Yeah. So now they're in this new, very reminiscent of like Age of Apocalypse kind of timeline where everything's messed up and the X-Men are not having it. It's the current villain, what's his name? Revelation?
Yeah, Revelation is what he goes by.
Yeah, what he goes by now.
Yeah.
Doug Ramsey.
Yeah, I think that's not a secret. Like they've announced that it's Doug Ramsey is the villain that created this like dystopian
so
world.
I'm not spoiling anything.
No, that was definitely in the Zero issue.
Yeah.
But it's weird to me because like I remember Doug Ramsey as the character in like the '80s New Mutants, and he was kind of a nothing character.
Right.
And now he's like so far beyond what he
He's
was.
the big bad. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I think my first exposure to the character was Age of Apocalypse, where he's just like, "Oh, I'm really good with languages."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and
That was it. That was it.
And now he's really good with languages.
He basically has mind control powers,
Right.
you know.
Essentially, yeah.
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 Which I don't know. Like I was reading that and I was like, okay, that's a fine idea to evolve his powers because otherwise, just being able to automatically know any language is kind of boring.
It's not cool in a comic book setting.
Right.
That is a cool power.
I see. That's why I like it a lot because
Yeah.
I've always appreciated the idea that there are mutants out there that just have kind of mundane powers that are not necessarily useful
Right.
in a superhero fight. That's just they're just mutants and that's their power. And so I appreciated that, like with Doug Ramsey, where he's not like a commando. Like his powers don't allow him to fight the Hulk or anything.
No.
But in this he does because his powers have evolved to like mind control powers. It gave me shades of Earth X, which I know I recommended to you not too long ago, because the main villain in that one is also a kid who has mind control powers, and just like remakes the world in his image. But
there's no good telepaths.
No, that's it's an interesting thing.
All their hands are dirty.
So in the regular X-Men continuity, I know Professor X has been he's gone off world. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure what was going on with that.
He broke out of Greymalkin prison, formerly known as Westchester, to go to
Sorry, does Doug have any relation to Dave Ramsey? I don't know.
Maybe Gordon.
Maybe Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying Professor X.
So he's off world. He's gone to the Shi'ar Empire.
Okay.
And I think he's been involved. I'm a little behind on Imperial, but I believe he plays a role in that.
That would make sense that he would be in that. Okay. Yeah. I was just curious if we were like expecting to see him in this Age of Revelation.
Oh, that I mean,
I guess it could anything's on the table at this point.
It's only like so when they previewed this, I believe in the Zero issue, they said X years in the future, X years in the future.
Right.
They literally meant 10.
That's. I'll give them. That's a little clever.
Yes.
Like because I thought it's like okay, in this, just in the future,
right.
But yeah, literally 10. Okay, you got one on me. That's good. What did you think about Cyclops in this?
Cyclops was cool. Honestly, the character that had the biggest impression on me was Magneto.
Okay.
Magneto is definitely like one of my favorite Marvel characters, if not my all-time favorite. His response is he is a full-fledged X-Man now. Yeah. And he believes that panel right there, where he just states it out. It's like, this is wrong. This is a mutant empire built on genocide. We have to do better.
Magneto's good in this, and it definitely is like shades of the original Age of Apocalypse, where Magneto was also kind of like more heroic,
right?
But like in a less in a he's changed his mind, and just in a like this is the type of hero that the Age of Apocalypse needs, kind of a thing, I liked we didn't really say the setup. I did like the way this story opened and unfolded with Cyclops is basically our point of view character, because his I guess
they brought his consciousness.
I guess I was like, I don't know if it's too much of a spoiler. It's right at the beginning. The story opens with Cyclops waking up basically, and they use like forged magic technology to bring Cyclops's personality or his consciousness from the past, which would be the previous issue of X-Men, into his like future body. And I kind of like that, like as a storytelling device. It's like that's pretty solid. It's a way to make him a point of view character so that he can learn things at the same time as the reader, and it makes it a really smooth transition to like getting all this exposition out without it just feeling really clunky. And I also appreciated it just feels like a very X-Men type of thing to do, because you already you had the precedent set in Days of Future Past, one of the most classic greatest X-Men stories of all time, and that one was a character sending their consciousness back in time. So I was like, I appreciated that. Like it works in the context of an X-Men story. Yeah, like I think the only other thing I have to say about this issue is the art is great.
Yes.
I really like. That's what I've been saying. I haven't been following these X-Men series, but I really like Ryan Stegman's art, and it definitely. I don't want to say it carries this issue completely, but it's definitely the biggest selling point for me in it, and it's it's like a pretty full story. It doesn't ever feel like it's like I don't feel like I never get the impression like they're just like teasing you with stuff for the future issues. Like this is a pretty solid story. Like it felt substantial, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
it felt like a good beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good beginning,
I'm
especially for something that I really have no interest in following. I just don't need to read another Age of Apocalypse, but I'll give them credit. It's like a pretty good issue,
Yeah.
and I was genuinely not expecting that.
Yeah, I've been intrigued by it.
Mhm.
But I've been
You've been
reading.
following the X Men
Yes,
books,
yeah,
right? So,
and
as somebody who's been following the X Men books and can now look forward to them all being maybe not canceled, but put on hiatus while we do Age of Revolution, and then also in the back here they have the next like 25 issues or whatever that they're doing. I have to say, this looks a bit much.
it's a daunting grocery list. Is
right,
what that
right.
is. Yeah.
I mean, I get like you're doing your main series and just putting them all in the Age of Revolution, just like the Revelation, just like the original Age of Apocalypse. But there's a lot of new stuff in here that I'm just like, wow,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
I'm excited for some of them. I don't know if I'm gonna read all of them, but yeah,
Okay,
that's kind of how it goes.
well, I'm curious to see where this goes. But you really liked it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a fan.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about something else that's relatively new and also has a lot of people's attention and is also extremely popular, I guess that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Batman, issue 2 of Matt Fraction and George Jimenez or Jorge Jimenez. Batman series comes out tomorrow. Did you read this one at all?
I read the first one. I did not.
You
read
did
the
read
new
issue
one.
1. Okay. Yeah. This issue is solid. This I enjoyed this issue. It's a mostly a Tim Drake story, which is really appropriate. Just because I feel like Tim Drake has kind of become the forgotten Robin at this point.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have that like simple high concept hook.
He's not a cool edge lord.
Well, he like you have Dick Grayson, he's the original Robin, and now he's Nightwing. And you have Jason Todd, he died, and now he's Red Hood.
Right.
And then you had Tim Drake, who was Robin, and then he was kind of Red Robin, and now he's Robin again, but he's not the real Robin because the real Robin is Damian Wayne, who's Batman's son. And so you just sort of like Tim's just kind of there, and I feel like he doesn't have anything to really like differentiate him from the other Robins. Like you have original, dead, and biological son, and
he's the smart one.
He's the smart one, right? Yeah. So this this was good. I like that it does a good job of Matt Fraction is just like a good storyteller, and he does a good job of kind of weaving this flashback story of Batman trying to teach Tim how to drive a car because he was a kid when he found it, so he's like trying to teach him how to drive stick shift. It's a little weird to me though that in the flashback, Damian is also there, so I can't get a bead on how old he's supposed to be.
That's weird.
And again, this I had this problem a little bit with the first issue where there were some plot elements where I couldn't tell like is this carryover from the previous Batman series or is this just supposed to be a new status quo or is it supposed to be a mystery? I don't know. So this was a little weird to me reading this. I'm like, wait a minute, like Damian is there? Well, like he's Robin. So I couldn't like the timeline felt really weird.
That's very odd.
Yeah,
for them to be in the same. That's I guess it's another byproduct of like New 52.
I think so. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. But otherwise, yeah, it's a solid issue. This issue goes pretty full on into the cops are all corrupt and it does not pull any punches. I won't go so far as to say it's a timely or preachy with its subject matter, but it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't pull any punches. There's some crooked cops. Crooked cops have always been in Batman. you
For
know.
sure.
And they just go all like really far in that direction where I won't spoil what happens, but it looks good. I like that it's like gritty Batman without being overly gritty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not too dark. I like the art style. I like that it's kind of bright and colorful while
Yeah.
still telling kind of dark, serious stories.
Batman needs a little pulp.
I mean, he always has to be pulpy,
Right.
but I think it works. I mean, just like this cover right here, just the contrasting blue and red, like you know, there's like just the right amount of color going on,
Yeah.
and it works really well. I get why people are super into the this new Batman series. It's fun. It's good.
Nice.
Also coming out tomorrow. Let's see. It's 8 o'clock. We got about 30 more minutes. I think we can do this easily.
Oh
in 30
yeah, we
minutes.
got this.
Venom number 250. This is another one of those like legacy number celebrations. I think this is like what is this actually? Probably issue like 10 or 11 or 12 or something. But it's
Does it say?
it actually doesn't say, which usually they do. So maybe this is like maybe this is genuinely just a 250 issue. I don't know. I picked this one up on a whim because it's a big issue, 250 celebrating 250 issues of Venom, and I was a Venom collector back in the day. I've got like the first miniseries and the second miniseries.
You haven't been reading any of the current Venom?
No, I have not. And that's kind of what I was going to mention. It's like Marvel is so fascinating to me and Venom's like a key example of like me. I'm like, I used to read Venom back in the 90s as a kid. He was the coolest character. Let me check in on Venom and see what's going on with that character. This book is like almost unrecognizable if you were just like, oh, I used to read Venom. Whereas like I could say confidently, if you were like, I used to read Batman comics back in the 90s, you could pick this up and just like step right into it.
Right.
Whereas you read this and it's completely different from what the original Venom was.
For like a key 250 legacy issue.
And I think that's really what's getting me is because like you said, it's a key, like a legacy issue, this big anniversary issue. And it's like if you were to read this, like first of all, Null, who's Null? Like what's all this symbiote stuff? I mean that's at like 10 years old at this point. But I'm saying if you really had no idea, like if you were just like you read some Spider-Man comics when you were a kid in the 90s, everything in this would be weird. Like you have all the stuff with the alien symbiote, like Null and the god of the symbiotes, and then you have the fact that Venom is Mary Jane.
Yes.
And it's just bizarre. Like I really can't get over it. It's so weird to me.
I was reading Venom up until they revealed that Mary Jane was the current Venom.
Yeah, that was like the big twist.
And I didn't have that many problems with it. You know, I'm not the internet, but
sure. I mean, I just think it's odd, and I feel like, and this is maybe a longer discussion that best is held somewhere else. I just think it's an example of Marvel not knowing what to do with Mary Jane because like they've officially made it their mandate that Mary Jane and Peter Parker are not getting back together.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure they're going to ride that really hard, and you're never going to see them married again unless you want. If you do, read the Ultimate books.
Right. They made that Ultimate book just to get people to shut up.
Exactly. I really do feel like they made that just so that people will stop harassing them about breaking up the marriage between Peter and Mary Jane. But then the problem, and I even understand why they wanted to do it. I understand the idea of wanting Peter Parker to be this young single guy. But the problem is now you have this character of Mary Jane who you don't really want to tell stories with, but she's popular enough to justify doing something with her.
Right.
So they're like, okay, make her a superhero. They made her Jackpot for a while. Have her team up with the Black Cat because they're both ex-lovers of Peter Parker. And now it's like, make her Venom because why not? They're both ex-lovers of Peter Parker. And it's just so weird to me that like that's where we're at. I mean, the symbiote really did love Peter Parker.
Yeah, I mean, I just never thought of it that way.
Yeah, they're both Spider-Man's exes. So I guess I can see the creative decisions that led to why not have her be. Of course, they would both bond over both being rejected by Peter Parker. But yeah, so I did read through some of. I didn't read through all of it. I did read this page though. I appreciated there's kind of an Easter egg on this.
Oh.
They make a reference to this movie Lobster Man that Mary Jane was in the story. Okay. And this goes back to the Straczynski era of Spider-Man. And this was at a period when Mary Jane and Peter Parker were separated, not divorced, but they were going through like a separation. And Mary Jane was in Hollywood acting in this movie called Lobster Man, and she was the superhero's girlfriend. And that was mostly just played for laughs because it's like, she's like, this script is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And they're like, honey, you don't know anything about superheroes. And secretly she's like, haha, I actually was married to a superhero.
Right.
You know. And so there's a little Easter egg in this where they're doing a Lobster Man reboot and they want you to be in it, but not as the girlfriend. You're going to be the doddering old aunt because she's old now.
No.
And it's like they make an effort. It's like a Easter egg fan cast, type of a thing. And I have to admit, I got a little chuckle out of that. I was like, okay, that was a good, like, they're sticking to their Spider-Man history. Yeah. Like, it's all in continuity.
That's Al Ewing.
Yeah, it is Al Ewing, yeah. And he's a writer that I like. He knows his stuff. But, I don't think I can really get into the rest of the issue. It's just so bizarre to me that Mary Jane is Venom. Like, I can't wrap my head around it.
It's weird.
All right, let's move on to something that's slightly less bizarre. No, actually, I would say it's equally bizarre. I'm talking about the Cold Slither one-shot. Whoa. Now, this is like the nichest, deepest cut for all you G.I. Joe fans out there. Y'all thought you were going to maybe get a week of me not talking about G.I. Joe. I already talked about the compendium, and now I'm talking about a new issue, Cold Slither. Sam, do you have any idea what Cold Slither even is?
I was doing something while I overheard you and Aaron talking about it.
Okay, so this is from a particularly good... No, I take that back. Not good. A particularly fond episode of the original animated G.I. Joe series.
Okay.
Where Cobra, as a terrorist organization, is bankrupt. They have no money because Cobra Commander is an incompetent leader. And so, as a money-making scheme, Destro puts together, he creates, this is before AI, he creates a computer to write a song, like a perfect song, and then they hire the Dreadnoks to pretend to be a band so that they can play this song that it's a heavy metal song because they're the Dreadnoks, and it also has secret subliminal mind control messaging in it because it's heavy metal and the 80s, and we all remember the satanic panic of the 80s and playing records backwards that have messages from the devil. So it was all playing up with that. And the name of the band is Cold Slither, and that was also the name of their hit song, Cold Slither. And then in the episode, they played one gig, and then they got interrupted by the G.I. Joes, and the G.I. Joes beat them up. And then the G.I. Joes played their own song called Yo Joe.
Whoa.
And they undid all of the brainwashing. And so this is just a one-shot. It's just a very silly tribute homage to that episode. It's written by Tim Seeley, who's a guy, and then that guy works. Like, that guy's always writing stuff.
He is always making fun.
But he definitely is having fun with it. And I like that this takes place, it's like a VH1's Where Are They Now type of a thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's like 20 years, or not, it doesn't say 20, it's in the future.
Sure.
And it's like, whatever happened to that band Cold Slither? But as the story goes on, you realize that this is a future where the plan worked. And the song actually did help them take over the world. And so Cobra Commander is now the Cobra Commander-in-Chief of the United States.
Oh, God.
And Destro and Baroness and the Tomex and Zamat are like his cabinet members. And everybody's like, whatever happened to that brilliant band that we all love? And it's actually a step. There's another extra joke in there that Tim Seeley didn't have to do, which is that it doesn't recount the original episode where they fail, and then years later, a bunch of Gen Zers find clips of it on YouTube, and they're like, they ironically watch it, and then it works because it's a bunch of dumb kids that are just like, look at this stupid thing from the 80s, and then they all get brainwashed, and so it actually works. Wow. Ironically,
they were in it for the long time.
That's right. And so now it's this what's his name, Gerardo Rivera type TV guy who's going around and interviewing members of the Dreadnoks, asking what they're doing now that Colt Slither is broken up, and he's trying to get the band back together. And there's Zartan. And you know what? You can probably infer that a lot of things happen, maybe goes wrong. The G.I. Joes are involved in some way. I don't really want to spoil it, but also I think you could probably guess how it ends. But anyway, I enjoyed it as a silly, like, stupid little tribute to one of the goofy episodes of that cartoon. Had some goofy episodes.
What's the goofiest one?
Well, Colt Slither is pretty goofy. Yeah. I remember there's one where there's a character named Iceberg, who some kind of genetic. He was a Joe. And Cobra like tested something on him, and they turned him into a killer whale. Like, actually, like, he like turned into a orca whale and was like swimming around in the Arctic.
Yeah.
That one's pretty weird. That was pretty bizarre.
That's pretty bizarre.
There's a lot of other weird ones though, but yeah, Colt Slither is one of the silliest ones, and it's also an example of like the writers of the show knowing that it's silly, because they're always playing it up for laughs, like that Cobra Commander's an idiot. Like, they don't have any money, so they're like, well, let's release a heavy metal song. Like, they know it's stupid and it's silly. So
that's all.
I'm glad that they're doing that. Just fun little things for the OG G.I. Joe fans. Yeah, the real Joes. All right, what's something else you got here?
Let me see.
I've been talking about a lot of old stuff on this episode.
I have Spider-Man Noir.
Ooh. Yeah,
or do you want to get the
I
other
saw
cover?
that one on the stands, and I kind of get that other cover out. I kind of glossed over this because I don't really care for the Spider-Man multiverse stuff. You know, like the movies they're here. Bring those up. I want to put them on the downscope. Give me that other cover too.
Sure.
Like those Spider-Verse movies are good, but I don't like the way the comics have just like leaned into it so hard. So I just like didn't really pay attention to this. But I saw on the cover here, there's this name Larson. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, is that Eric Larson? No, it can't be Eric Larson. And then you said, yes, it is Eric Larson. And then I looked at this variant cover and I said, that's obviously Eric Larson. So I was a little surprised by that. Unfortunately, he doesn't draw it, which bothers me a little bit. But you know what? The man's busy doing his Savage Dragon comic. He's not going to have time to draw.
I was about to say, that's his main focus is Savage Dragon nowadays, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much his main thing. But he's been chipping in at Marvel, doing some of these variants for like classic covers for books and whatever. But I was so surprised that he's actually writing this.
Yeah.
Because he, for all you young people who might not remember, Eric Larson was a very popular Spider-Man artist in the early 90s. He's the one who took over after Todd McFarlane. And then they eventually left to form Image Comics. But I personally have always really liked Eric Larson's Spider-Man run, maybe more than McFarlane.
Okay.
Just in terms of his art and the way he drew the characters.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's writing this Spider-Man Noir series. Did you read this?
I did.
What did you think of it?
It was pretty good. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his stuff. I've never read a lot of Eric Larson's comics, so I don't know how it
compares.
Yeah, how it stacks up. But it was a good Spider-Man story, with a little bit more grit because it's a crime noir.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy's in it.
Yeah, okay. Does it actually? No, does Spider-Man Noir, like, does this take place in the like 30s, or is it just? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's 1939.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, they've mentioned that he's had a falling out with Mary Jane.
Okay.
And he's behind on rent, and
he's a detective, like classic. Yeah.
All the good old Parker Luck stuff applied to this.
Do they go full film noir with it and make him an alcoholic?
No.
No. Okay. And
No,
he
they do
doesn't
not.
smoke either, I'm
And
sure.
he doesn't smoke.
Of
Yeah.
course.
He
That's
doesn't-
okay.
He doesn't shave.
Okay, you know what? There you go. He's got a little scruff there. That's how
Yeah.
you know he's edgy.
So he's, yeah, exactly.
Okay, but yeah, you like? Is it a one
Yes.
shot or is it a series?
I believe it's a series.
Okay, cool. Well, there you go.
Either that or it ends on a pretty big cliffhanger.
It's probably a series then. Yeah, that's. I'm glad that new Eric Larson. Like, I legitimately was so shocked when I saw that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was tempted to get just for this cool cover by Eric Larson. I'm not going to because I don't need any extra stuff, but it was tempting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad. I've got a couple of things here. Did you have one more there?
I had Absolute Evil.
Oh yeah, let's. Oh yeah, you have two more there.
I got two more here.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Absolute Evil. This is a #1 issue from DC Comics. I have no idea what is going on with this. What is this comic?
This is a tie-in with all the Absolute series that are going on.
It's
about.
It's actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually in the Absolute universe.
It's in
oh
the
my
Absolute
goodness!
universe.
I guess I should read it. I had no idea.
It sets up. There are some spoilery stuff there.
Oh my goodness! We don't want to spoil Absolute Green Arrow.
Well.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well. Okay. Well. Boom. There we go. We don't want to spoil too much.
So it's a comic that's basically about the powers in control of the Absolute world, and they are trying to form some kind of union between each other in order to take out Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, basically all the major
these new heroes that have popped up.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. This feels more like it's like a Marvel Ultimate style book.
Yes.
It is. You
totally felt like that.
Wow. Yeah, because it's all like just world building stuff. Interesting. I had no idea. I just assumed this was just because they also used the Absolute name for their Absolute Power crossover last year. That's what I thought it was. And I was like, oh, is this going to just be more? They're using All In on everything. Yeah. I just assumed, I was like, oh, it's just another. They're just really milking that name. Absolute.
They really need some kind of like imprint or something.
I was thinking that there's really nothing on here to indicate that it's the Absolute universe,
right? Other than the title.
Yeah.
But again, like that could have been anything.
Right.
DC.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm gonna give it a read. Oh yeah, there's a Absolute Brainiac right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I'm glad you didn't flip to the spoiler page.
I won't. I'm not going to flip through it anymore. I don't want to spoil it for myself or our fine viewers. But did you like it? Did you?
Yeah, it was all right.
Good. Have you been reading the Absolute books?
I have been reading. I'm behind on Wonder Woman, but I've been reading Superman, Martian Manhunter, Batman. I think that's about it.
So all of them.
Most of them. Yeah.
What's Flash?
I'm not reading Flash, and I'm not reading Green Lantern. I read the first one of each of those.
I forgot there was an Absolute Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I read the first one and I was done.
Yeah.
Which is sad because that's Al Ewing, who's somebody that I like, but I just was.
Yeah.
So
I've heard it gets better.
It almost has to. A little rude of me, but well, anyway, okay. Absolute Evil. I'll definitely check this out. But would you say that if you're invested in the Absolute universe right now, this is like essential reading?
Not essential. It can only benefit.
Okay.
What you're already invested in.
Okay. That sounds about right.
I don't think you should absolutely get Absolute Evil.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you see what I did?
Yeah, that was cute. Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right. I've got another DC comic here, and then we've got two like indie books to talk about. This one is DC's Satanic Panic. This is a Halloween horror anthology, and I gotta give DC credit. This is the greatest name for a Halloween anthology ever. Satanic Panic. I just said I made a reference to the Satanic Panic, talking about that Cold Slither comic because back in the 80s everybody was afraid of the Satanic Panic. So good on DC for playing into that with a pun. Did you flip through this issue at all?
No, I didn't.
So this I'm usually a little iffy about anthology series, but there's actually some heavy hitting creators involved in this one.
Oh.
There's this first Zatanna story is drawn by John McCrae, who's an artist that I really like. He's been around for a long time. There is a weird Plastic Man story written by Daniel Warren Johnson and art by Riley Rossimo. Those are the two guys that did The Moon is Following Us. And, I mean, Daniel Warren Johnson hardly needs no introduction. There's also The Demon. Actually, I did not recognize the creators there, but I like The Demon a lot.
Was that an Etrigan story?
Etrigan Demon. There's a Swamp Thing and Constantine by Andrew MacLean, who is he did Headlopper, and he's somebody that I really like a lot. Yeah, Andrew MacLean is great. So yeah, this is a really good looking book. Like this is John McCrae's art in Zatanna. Just really cool stuff. This is a Batman comic that looks really creepy and weird. Like that one. This one, this is the weird Plastic Man story, and I don't even want to there's kids melting into plastic. It's bizarre. There's a Warlord story in here. Who remembers Warlord? Created by Mike Grell. This was like a fantasy book that was at DC for a while. Fantasy sci-fi.
Who lives in Scartaris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And then we have, let's see, this is the Demon story, Etrigan.
Yeah.
Which looks really good. It's pretty cool looking. And then, this beautiful Andrew MacLean Swamp Thing and John Constantine. Like I'm gonna have to buy this just for this story.
Yeah.
Like I love Andrew MacLean, but man, him drawing Swamp Thing and Constantine is just too good. Oh, and then there's this is something else, and I've already forgotten what it is. But then the final story is an Ambush Bug story, which Ambush Bug is a deep cut character. Not many people remember Ambush Bug. He was created by the late great Keith Giffen, and he's one of the actual earliest fourth wall breaking meta characters. Long before Deadpool, and I think even before She-Hulk, John Byrne's She-Hulk, Keith Giffen made this character Ambush Bug, who was he was aware that he was a comic book character. And this short story actually has him like going into the short stories in this anthology and like getting involved in them in like weird ways. And so yeah, it's a lot of fun. So very, very cool stuff. Again, like I kind of like initially I was like, I don't need an anthology series. There's never anything good in those. But then I saw the cool name, Satanic Panic. It's a beautiful cover by Lee Bermejo also. But then I actually saw the creators in it. And I was like, okay, it's pretty good pedigree. All right. What's you got one more book there?
I have one left from, let's see.
This is from Ignition Press. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of stuff from them. They're a brand new publisher. They're doing these horror books. This is Roots of Madness. Did you read the whole issue?
I read the whole issue.
What did you think?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been liking a lot of Ignition Press's stuff. I would probably rank this a little lower than like Voyeur, and then what are some of the other ones they've been
doing? Murder Podcast.
Right? Yeah. This is pretty good.
Like what's the story here? Like what's the high concept?
There's a young girl. She's living with her parents. She's kind of learning to be like an apothecary whenever she's older. Then she finds out that somebody's been distributing bad, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Contraband.
Like a bad batch of like some kind of like skincare or something like that.
Okay.
And so she's seeking answers to
help her community. I'm sorry. Does this take place in the past? Like
yes,
1905? Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this like a horror book? Like a lot of their other stuff has like a horror edge.
There is definitely like a hint of darkness in it, but I wouldn't call it a horror just yet.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Not as overtly as like Murder Podcast.
No, definitely not.
What was the other one? Voyeur, is that one kind of a horror book too? or more like a
psychological thriller. Yeah.
Okay.
Boyer was really good. If you haven't read the first,
I read the preview, like the ash can, but I didn't read the full issue.
Yeah.
It looked good. It had like a creepy little setup.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, but you like this?
I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a ton of Ignition Press stuff, so definitely check it out. They're like I said, they're a new publisher, and they're kind of going all in with just their promotion and stuff. A lot of their issues that they're putting out have like little freebies that come with them and stuff. Like Voyeur had like a hotel key card and or a postcard or something like that.
Murder podcast, I think, and
the earplugs. Yeah. Okay, well, one final book to talk about. This is The Author Immortal from Image Comics. Did you see this one on the shelf?
I didn't.
So this is by two creators that I'm not super familiar with. It is, oh man, look at this, fancy. Just so I can read there, it's Frank J. Barbier, and then Morgan Beam is the artist. And I recognize the art. I forget what I read, but it's this beautiful watercolors.
Ooh.
And this is like there's another one that's like not really a horror book, but there's horror elements to it. It's more like I would say it's like a dark fantasy, like an 80s style dark fantasy, like the Dark Crystal kind of. And it's got a little bit of a meta angle where this fiction author, his daughter is like kind of trapped in this stasis thing. They don't explain what it is. She's just here.
Yeah.
And so he, at the beginning of the story, he kills himself. As you can see, stabs himself with this knife, and then this like blackness kind of like comes out of nowhere and mixes with him, and then it just kind of like shows up. Like this is his book that he wrote, and then the story follows like flash forward into the future. Like that all took place in the 50s, and there's this young professor writer guy who's very eager to get a job rebooting this old fantasy franchise that the author just stopped writing because he disappeared,
but it's
tainted, exactly. And so he's got a daughter, so there's kind of this like family relationship story, and it's this is a big issue too. It's like an oversized issue, but it spends a lot of time on the characters, just kind of like getting to know like what his deal is and like his relationship with his family. And I don't really want to spoil it, but I will say this is something that I have had heavy criticism on a lot of books for, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it here, is that the final page cliffhanger plot twist is the high concept that they use to advertise the series.
So it's not much of a spoiler.
So it's not much of a spoiler, because if you read any of the advertisement for this, it's the new writer gets trapped in the old writer's fiction story where he has to rescue him.
Okay.
And so it just bothers me. It's something about, like, I don't know what it is with the way I don't know if the way they write these stories, like the way they advertise them, there's something where it just really bothers me that they can't like crack that code, I guess, where like I just wish there was maybe, I guess really what it comes down to is I feel like the author should have maybe gotten into the fantasy world a little bit sooner,
right?
Because we know that's where he's going according to the blurb on the press release.
If it's in the log line, get the exposition done,
exactly, and
get him in there by about halfway through the book.
Correct. That's my feeling. So I liked this issue. I liked it pretty good. It's really good. The art is beautiful, but I did there was a certain point where I was like, when is he gonna get to the fireworks factory? Like, like I know where this is going. Like, just because that's how you advertised it.
Yeah.
And I'm not showing the last page because there's maybe like one other slight angle that's not mentioned in the average, but it's not enough to like make me feel it was worth it. Like, I feel like they should have hit that a lot earlier, and then you can still do like your character stuff, and it's, I don't know, I'm just a guy. I'm not a professional Image Comics author, so that's just my feelings. But it's really good. I recommend you check it out. It looks great, and I admit I am a little bit of a sucker for, it feels kind of like an 80s dark fantasy
Yeah.
of like getting sucked into a fiction world. And there's kind of some meta elements to it, and it's it's really good.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well that's it for us. We ended right on time. This is great.
How about that?
So we're out of here. But like our friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody. It's not just superheroes. Sometimes it's dark
Authors.
80s fantasy and
roots
and Betty and Veronica as well. But also just a reminder, it is our customer appreciation month, so come on in, spend some money, get some tickets, entered into that raffle, win a $250 shopping spree. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We're out of here. We'll see you. Bye.